Following on from last month's Alpha Collection, Psikyo are back with the second of their Shooting Stars packs and another 6 classic games from the Japanese developer's back catalogue. Many of my niggles with the Alpha Collection remain true for the Bravo Collection as well, so if you haven't seen my review on the first pack, click the link above and then come back, but I'll briefly touch on these points again at the end of the review. So let's dig into the 6 games on offer here. The Bravo Collection offers a similar quality to the Alpha with a couple of absolute stonkers, some very good games and 1 or 2 that are maybe not quite up to snuff. In no order, I'm again going to go through the games and give them their own rating out of 10. Now the first up is a trio of Samurai Aces or Sengoku Aces games. The first of the Samurai Aces games was released in 1993 and this is actually the very first Psikyo shoot 'em up and set the path for the future games to come like Strikers and Dragon Blaze. This is a vertical shmup where you choose from one of 6 characters and set off to rescue the Shogun's daughter from evil clutches. I found this game incredibly difficult, but at the same time it's immediately a lot of fun if you like this sort of Psikyo template passed into their future games. The graphics are generally really great and the game shifts at a real pace and feels a lot more like a bullet hell than their other stuff, but I'm no expert on this really. I really enjoyed this one, but due to its difficulty for me, I'm going to be giving it a 7 out of 10 personally, but it's definitely worthy of your attention. The sequel, Sengoku games, switch the formula and are horizontal shooters. The second game is called Tengai rather than Samurai Aces 2 and again features 6 characters to choose from, each with their own ending to the story mode. Whilst considered a horizontal shooter, the game does actually scroll in different directions at times, which is a nice feature. I'm not the biggest horizontal shooter fan in the world, but I actually really enjoyed this one far more than any of the other Psikyo horrors. I found the oversized character models a little bit unwieldy compared to the standard planes and ships that you fly, but it's fine once you get used to it. Great graphics and some wicked boss fights in this one as well, and overall I enjoyed Tengai more than I expected to, and I'm also going to be giving this one a 7 out of 10. Now that's where the good news for the series ends, as the final game, which reverts back to the standard naming convention and is called Samurai Aces 3, is a real hot mess that actually made me want to literally vomit. It's a side-scrolling shoot 'em up again, featuring the standard pixel art characters, but for some reason, and I think it's because it was launched on the PS1, which may explain the next bit, it features barren, flat, polygon 3D shapes for the background. Now as the game scrolls from left to right, these rotate and sweep around and it was just nauseating. So unfortunately I didn't play too much of this one at all, and I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10 as the little I did manage to play didn't seem that great compared to the rest of Psikyo's output. Thankfully the final 3 games on the compilation are real crackers, so no complaints over a little duffer there. The next game is actually not really a shooting game, and that's Gunbarich. This was kind of a spin-off game from the Gunbird series, which features after this section. Gunbarich is a mix of Arkanoid or Breakout and a pinball game. You control a choice of 2 characters and have to work through a series of levels firing a ball up to destroy bricks and enemies, with every 3 levels culminating in a boss fight. To fire the ball you have a pair of pinball flippers on your head, and once you get the timing down you can really give the ball a smash with a well-timed strike. It's certainly an odd title to include in this 12-game shooting collection from Psikyo, but also in its own right is a really fun game with colourful graphics and some really addictive gameplay. I've become a big fan of Gunbarich and I'm going to be giving this one an 8.5 out of 10. So this takes us to the cream of the Bravo collection, and that is the 2 Gunbird games. These are both vertical shooters with colourful cartoony graphics as you pick a character or 2 in the co-op mode to retrieve pieces of a magical mirror in the first game and a potion in the second game. As with a lot of these Psikyo verts, there's multiple endings for each character and the ability to loop the game, where after completing it you can go through it again on a much harder difficulty. The second game also introduces some additional mechanics like a close range attack and a few new ways to score points, but essentially the 2 games are very similar. The second does feature a completely new cast of characters though, aside from Marion the Witch, who appears in both games. These are, in my opinion, the nicest of all the Psikyo games I've played in this collection, just edging out Dragon Blaze for me. The graphics in Gunbird are great, with the lands below full of so many little touches, and I love how the 3 enemy characters you are chasing can often be seen running around trying to stay one step ahead of you. Just adds so much charm and really helps pull you into the story. It's no surprise I enjoyed these games a little bit more as I found them a little easier to get through. I've seen other reviews that call the series baby's first shoot 'em up, and whilst that's probably a little unfair, I still found lots of challenge in the later levels, and even then you have 7 difficulty levels that you can play the game on. It's hard to split these games, so I'm going to be giving both of them a 9 out of 10, and they're definitely in the top tier of shmups on the Switch for me. So there you go, all 6 games rated, and I think this is a smashing little collection. If you replaced Samurai Aces 3 with, say, Dragon Blaze or even Zero Gunner 2 from the Alpha series, this would be an absolute smash out of the park must buy. But the same issues do remain from the Alpha series as well. Now, whilst there are again a few customization options here, such as screen filters and a vertical tape mode for us flip grip owners, that's about where the bonuses finish, and again Bravo features no additional material. There's no artwork, no background information, no soundtracks and so on. It's just basically a launcher for the 6 games and that's it. And as in Alpha, each game on its own does feature a local scoreboard, but there's no online leaderboards here, which is a real crying shame. The other negative points from Alpha are still valid, and they are that if you own just even one of these games on your Switch already, then this collection is not going to be financially worth it, and there are no other reasons to get it in that case. If you're a collector of physical games, then NIS America do a fantastic limited edition with an art book and audio CDs that would certainly look lovely on any game shelf. Finally, if you don't own any of these games already and are looking to get into shoot 'em ups on the Switch, then this is an absolutely brilliant place to start, and if you either ignore Samurai Aces 3 or keep a sick bucket nearby. So with that last point in mind, if you're buying these games for the first time, then I'm going to be giving Psikyo Shooting Stars Bravo collection an identical 8.5 out of 10 to the Alpha collection. This collection of 12 games overall is a fantastic way to get a number of instant classics on your Switch, and will give you hours of arcade fun to master. So there you go, there's my review of Shooting Stars Bravo. Hope you enjoyed it. Please give me a thumbs up if you did, and if you're new here, please consider subscribing, really appreciate it. And please leave me a comment below, which of these 12 games do you like the look of? I think it's a great little collection myself, and really happy to have it on my Switch. If you've got any questions at all about these games, please drop me a line below. I'll be happy to help, but until then, I will catch you on the next video. Thanks everyone, bye bye.